Previously.
There's something important I have to tell Aya. The very reason I want her and Evangelina to celebrate their birthdays together.
Aya and I were both abandoned by our mothers. My father was kidnapped by aliens and returned pregnant with my half-sister.
I feel bloated and tired and weirdly emotional. And I need to go to the toilet way more often than usual.
Loki is your grandson from the future. Tiamo accidentally impregnated Leviathan while the latter was a woman.
That's Big D, the fashion designer.
She's your mother, Aya. And yours too, Evangelina. Your half-sisters.
I'm sorry I abandoned you back then. I'd like to make it up to you, if you give me the chance.
You're too late. Fuck you.
Delilah? Hey. Are you okay?
Oh, yes, I was just marveling at how you always manage to make our garden look like it's spring or summer, even in autumn. It's almost like magic.
Have you been avoiding me?
What? No, Yes. Sorry. Everything is a little complicated at the moment.
I don't think it is. You're being neglected and mistreated to the point that it makes you cry. That's a shame, but not complicated.
It's the little things you know. It's not like he's beating me, or cheating on me. Well, at least not with another woman. But he's married to his job, that's why he forgot our anniversary, and those little things just keep piling up until they become too heavy. If that wasn't complicated, there would be an easy solution to it.
But there is. I already told you what you could do. What we could do.
What do you want from me, Pompiliu? I'm 20 years older than you. I'm not rich, all our money belongs to my husband. I'm not intelligent either, never was. The only thing I have is my beauty, and even that is fading. There must be many pretty women your age pining after you, so why are you pursuing me of all people?
You're so much more than you give yourself credit for, and your beauty is not fading at all. Your husband is just too blind to see that, and you've spent too much time in his shadow. It's your time to shine.
I'm shining all right, but this is not what I wanted.
Don't worry too much, she'll be back.
Who?
Well, Aya. Oh, I didn't even realize Evangelina was gone too.
She needs some alone time. Leave her be.
Excuse me. This may not be the best time, but who knows if I'll ever get another chance. Could you give me an autograph, Big D?
You're right, Espa. This really is a bad time. Let's go.
But...
Thank you for the invitation, but we should probably go now. This is a family matter, none of our business.
I really wish the party wouldn't have turned out that way. Hope you still enjoyed yourselves while it lasted.
Give Jaden and Evelyn my regards, Elise. I would have liked to invite them too, but you know the situation.
Of course. See you at Foxbury.
Bye everybody.
So you're Evangelina's children. Pompiliu has told me so much about you that I feel like I know you already. But it's so nice to finally meet you in person.
Likewise.
I was going to say the same thing, but then I remembered I don't actually feel that way.
Lucian, don't be so rude to your grandmother.
What grandmother? A real grandmother doesn't abandon her family. Are we supposed to pretend that didn't happen?
For once I agree with Lucian.
And you're my other grandchildren from Aya's side of the family. Wilbica, isn't it? And Tiamo.
Well, congratulations, you got our names right. Even though you got everything else wrong. Fuck off and leave us alone. No one wants you here.
That's not true.
And you, what the fuck were you thinking? When you suggested this joint celebration, I thought of it as your attempt to end the old feud between our families once and for all, and I liked the idea. Now it turns out you're the guy who destroyed my grandparents' marriage decades ago, and expect to be celebrated for reuniting my mother with the woman who abandoned her without ever considering anyone else's feelings. Say, did your fucking brain explode the day you died from magic overload?
It wasn't like that. Pompiliu didn't destroy my marriage. It was already destroyed, and that was Sebastian's fault.
Our grandfather was an asshole, and I didn't shed a single tear when he bit the dust. But at least he was there, he didn't abandon his only daughter, and despite all his flaws, I'm convinced that he still loved her in his own twisted way. But you took off, started a new family and then abandoned that one too, and nothing you could possibly say will ever make this right. You had your chance, 2 chances actually, and you blew them both. So fuck you and your half-assed apologies, you shallow self-absorbed cunt.
You know, you made quite the impression when you teleported out of that bar. I wonder how you did it.
Not on purpose. Must have been the work of these new slippers. They were inside a mysterious gift box, but I don't even know who I have to thank for them.
Someone who knew you might require a quick exit perhaps. I wish someone would have done the same for me, because I needed to get out of there too.
Don't think I'm going to put on rose-colored wholesome family glasses now just because we're suddenly half-sisters.
I wasn't thinking that. And I don't care about that any more than you do. As I said, I just needed to get out after that awkward revelation.
It was awkward indeed. Suddenly having a mother that looks younger than me.
So, that time it looked like Pompiliou was trying to ask Aya out. If she was indeed dating the father of her half-sister, wouldn't that be incest?
No, it would be somewhat gross, but not incest, because they're not related by blood.
But if they had a child together, would that make Evangelina that child's half-sister too, or half-aunt?
Both, I guess. But I don't think ghosts can have children.
Be honest, Loki. Did you know about this?
I never met any future versions of the Popescus in my time, and no one talked much about them, so no.
And did you know that Leviathan is pregnant?
Well, that's another story.
Our family just got a whole lot bigger within seconds, didn't it? Good thing the Popescus have their own familiars, because I'm not getting paid enough to look after everyone.
I suppose no one is going to eat my cake now.
I'll gladly take it home if no one else wants it. My sister will probably turn to Dr. Netflix to process tonight's events, and there's always room for a therapeutic zombie cake.
What are you going to do about her?
Nothing, I assume. She can go back to wherever she was before she showed up and ruined our evening.
See these lights I'm putting on the Christmas tree, Eva? They'll help Santa Claus find his way to our home. Offer him a few cookies and he'll give you a few presents.
Actually, we call him Father Winter in the magic community, and he's not known for giving gifts to anyone.
Are you saying he's a real person?
An immortal witch, yes. Or a dozen generations of male witches who all look the same, like the Duplantiers. No one really knows for sure. He helped establish many of the traditions we associate with Christmas today, but the handing out of presents was only added much later. That has to be our guests.
You know what? Forget what your father just said. It's totally okay for little children to believe in something that makes them happy. Like Santa Claus.
Gift.
That's right, but this one is not for you. It's for my other daughter, Aya. I've been writing her letters and sending her little gifts ever since. Never mind.
Delilah, darling, are you coming?
Sure, I just have to get this to the post office first.
Can't that wait? The post office is probably closed anyway, but our guests are here.
You mean your guests? Fine.
And then he said to me, "Don't worry about it though, Maris. The afterlife deal is valid for as long as I can keep the magic realm together. But just to be safe, make sure you die within the next 527 years."
You've got to hand it to the ageless sage. He rarely tells a joke, but when he does, it's usually the funniest thing you've heard all day.
That's true. Too bad I always know the punchline before I hear it.
One of the downsides of being a descendant of the High Witch of Clairvoyance.
I'm not even sure he was joking at all, but that arguably makes it even more hilarious.
He probably wasn't. The situation is too serious to be joked about, and no one knows that better than our leader.
Is it really that bad? Could your magic realm actually break apart?
Spoken like a true mortal.
Delilah is a mortal.
What? Really? Then I misunderstood. I thought you said she was an occult, just not a witch. Oh?
Well, my mother married a mortal and I turned out fine. So don't worry about Evangelina, she probably inherited your magic gene.
Probably. Can't you cast a glance into the future to know for sure?
Yes, Faye, that sounds fun. Why don't you give us a taste of your special ability?
Sleep tight, my little angel. Mommy is keeping watch.
So darling, what do you think?
About what?
About Dantalion Duplantier the 8th and Faye Blanchard. I've been trying to hook them up for ages, and I think they're finally warming up to each other. She laughed at many of his jokes.
Or perhaps she was just being smug because she knew all the punchlines in advance. For someone who keeps boasting about how well she can read minds, she seriously sucks at it. Or she just didn't care about how hurtful she was. Faye, huh? More like, fake.
You didn't enjoy their company?
Really? Don't worry about Evangelina, she probably inherited your magic gene. As if my genes were poisoning our daughter just because I'm not a witch. And it's not just her, it's all your friends. The moment they realized I wasn't one of them, they started looking down on me.
You're reading too much into it, darling. Damaris wasn't born a witch, she only became one 7 years ago. High Priestess Li Huan may be the most humorless person you'll ever meet, but she's like that to everybody. And the others, well, they're under a lot of pressure for being the youngest descendants of 2 of our High Witches.
Yes, another thing I couldn't possibly miss with how often they brought it up. What was the speciality of Dantalion's ancestor again? Time manipulation. Sounds about right. He must have slowed down time somehow, because the evening just wouldn't end.
I'm sorry you felt that way. What can I do to make it up to you?
Nothing, I'm afraid. They are your friends, and this is your world. I'm just not sure I belong in this world.
That must have been the evening she decided to leave. According to my father, it wasn't the first time she felt like an outsider for being the only mortal among witches, and she put up with it until she couldn't bear it anymore.
And you think that justifies her actions?
Nothing justifies abandoning your child. I'm only saying that I understand why she was unhappy, not that I forgive her. Like I said in my birthday speech, I was too young to really remember her, but that doesn't mean I didn't miss her. And her letters couldn't make up for her absence.
Letters? What letters?
The ones she wrote me throughout my childhood and adolescence. I got one on every birthday, Christmas, and sometimes on random occasions when she just wanted to tell me something. Sometimes I even got presents. Didn't you?
No. Not a single one.
Dear Aya, I realize it's been a while since my last letter, but a lot has happened since then, and I've been very busy trying to get my life back on track. It took me a little longer than most to learn the importance of being able to take care of myself as an adult. For too long I have relied on other people, mostly men, to support me. My relationship with your father was no different. I believe that we were actually in love at some point, but in the end, he married me for my beauty, I married him for his money, and left him when I realized that wasn't enough anymore. Now I'm in my 50s, out of both beauty and money, and having more trouble than ever before in my life just making ends meet. But that is going to change. Believe it or not, I'm going back to school to catch up on graduation and, with a little luck, get into university to study fashion design. Making things look pretty is the one thing I'm good at, and I'm proud of that, because it's something you and I have in common. I saw the little flower shop you opened in Windenburg. You've always been good with flowers, and I wish you the best of luck with that. One day, when I too have something to show, I'll muster up the courage to face you again. But until then, I want you to know that I only left your father 7 years ago. I never meant to leave you, but either way, I still left. And for all the grief that may have caused you, I hope you'll be able to forgive me someday. Love, Mum.
Oh Delilah, you poor embittered old trout. Our daughter will never forgive you, no matter how many more of these letters you may write. Give up already.
Father? Is there any mail for me today?
No, nothing.
So, when the baby is ready to be born, how does it get out? Not the same way it got in, obviously, because that hole no longer exists. Will it come out of your ass?
No idea, and I'm not sure I even want to find out.
Like it or not, sooner or later we're going to have to deal with this question.
A C-section seems reasonable, at least if the doctors can figure out where to cut, because there shouldn't even be a uterus in this particular case.
Under normal circumstances I'd suggest asking Pompiliou, but after tonight, I want nothing more to do with that undead fucker. Or what did Mum call him again?
He gave birth to an alien baby. Who knows if that even works the same way? But there's other people in the magic community that we can ask. The High Priestess ought to know something.
Or perhaps you do. You seem to know everything else. Sure you don't remember how exactly you were born?
Mum, are you okay?
Why wouldn't I be? It's past midnight. I'm now officially 60 years old, and what happened at that party doesn't change anything. Except that thing goes in the bin, and the Popescu's patriarch is even less welcome at this house now than he was before.
And your mother? Where is she now?
Hell if I know. Hell if I care. Making me another half-sibling with the creepy dead pervert, perhaps?
Creepy dead pervert. Yes, that was it. Although I think I prefer undead fucker.
I have to go. Someone just texted me that Mercury's followers in Shadow Vale are conducting another smear campaign against select witch families, and as the Magic Realm's vampire ambassador, I should probably intervene.
You haven't even looked at your phone the entire time I was watching you. Why are you really leaving? The youth of today, not even born yet, and already too cool to spend time with family.
Good night, Loki.
Don't worry about it, that's just pooping angels.
Just tell me one thing, when will it happen? I don't remember the year, but I can give you a hint. Has a child been born to a man in your household? There is only one man in my household, the one you killed, and no, he doesn't have a child. Then the calamity is still years away, at least if it's the same one that I remember. Enjoy the time you have left with your family, before it's too late.
Seems like I'm the harbinger of the calamity that will tear my family apart, and nothing can stop it. But perhaps, some details can be changed.
Is it true then? Are you really Tiamo's son?
And you must be the mysterious donor behind Aya's teleporting slippers. Am I right in assuming that they are part of the scavenger hunt you've been putting her through? Well, whatever shady goal you're working towards, my knowledge of the future tells me you'll die before achieving it. I just wanted to make sure you didn't hurt my family first, and since you didn't heed my warning back in Mount Como Rebi, that's exactly what I'm going to do now.
I remember your warning. The next day I made a deal with a fairy to curse you. It failed, and I've since been thinking about other ways to take you out of the picture. But now that the picture is a family photo, things are different.
Not for me. You're still a threat to this family, Grandpa.
And you are still secretly hoping for a way to prevent the calamity, even though you keep telling everybody else that it's impossible. What if I told you that there is a way, and I know how?
I'd say you're lying to save your skin.
You wouldn't even be willing to take a look? Come on. For a blue-haired, time-traveling witch-vampire-merman hybrid born to two men, you have surprisingly little faith in the impossible.
D'Antalion du Plantier the 8th, do you take this woman to be your wife, to live together in holy matrimony, to love her and honor her, in sickness and in health, for as long as you both shall live?
He does.
Faye.
Oh, sorry. I read it in his mind before he said it and couldn't contain my excitement. But you do want to marry me, right, D'Antalion?
Of course I do.
I'm starting to see what Delilah meant.
What do you mean?
How arrogant Faye can be, even if she tries to hide it behind excitement and other emotions. But this is her wedding. I'm not going to speak ill of her now.
I promise I won't tell her.
I don't think we've met.
Probably not. I only came across this magic community a little while ago, and Faye became one of my first friends here. It was so nice of her to invite me to her wedding, and I don't find her arrogant at all.
Arrogant or not, she does look silly in her wedding gown like this. Dad, why do they get married now when the bride is so pregnant?
It's a Duplantier family tradition. All sons are born on a day of equinox, while the father is 33 years old. D'Antalion the 8th turned 33 on March 20th this year, and his son, D'Antalion the 9th, is due on September 23rd.
That's just a few days after my birthday. Why didn't you and Mom do Bing Bing a little later? Then I could have been born on a day of equinox too.
Ava, please. Don't embarrass me.
Bing Bing? What a cute word.
Well, she has to call it something. But she's only 9. I wouldn't want her to use words that are less kid-friendly, you know.
Of course. But I appreciate you explaining those things to her at such an early age. That way she won't think of them as weird when she's older, unlike most mortals. Was that your idea or the mother's?
Oh, There is no mother. I mean, she's not living with us anymore. But there was a mother at some point, of course. Otherwise Ava wouldn't exist.
I actually think that fathers would make pretty good mothers too. But as a member of a mono-gendered alien species, the concept of biological sex is strange to me anyway. What do you think about the possibility of men becoming pregnant?
I didn't even realize that was a possibility until now. But as much as I support gender equality, that's not something I'm keen on experiencing.
A little over 9 months later, his second daughter, Stella Maria, was born. That the alien lady from the Duplantier's wedding was not the mother. It was Pompiliu himself.
Honestly, I don't know if I'm okay with being mentioned by name.
Why hide it? Everybody knows our names, and that we're sisters.
But the text is getting a little too long, isn't it? You're not writing a novel after all.
No, but a comprehensive article detailing her parents' lives so that everyone in the community can learn what really happened, and I think she's doing a great job. What else can we do to help?
You already helped by giving me this laptop for my birthday. It's a lot more flexible than my old typewriter. What I need now is a little quiet to proofread what I have so far.
Delilah? Are you okay?
I don't know. I think so, but has Evangelina said anything else?
Not yet. Give her time. My family is well known for carrying grudges over generations, but you're her mother. She'll forgive you.
I hope so. And I hope that Aya will too. Eventually.